Yeah.
Welcome
Okay.
everyone to the session with Andrea Benassi. And this is part of the EVO, the very first ever EVO Minecraft MOOC 2020, one-day conference on language learning. And also
in Minecraft, the first conference in Minecraft.
Too.
Yeah. The first language learning conference in Minecraft. We think.
And Vance, who initiated this, please, Vance, tell us more about what's been happening in the day.
Well, we had a nice morning of discussions and people actually in Minecraft on our server, sitting around or riding trains or doing things that are, sort of trying to explain to people what this had to do with language learning. It's actually all has to do with language learning. It all involves language. I mean, we just had an interesting interface of German versus English. The language is kind of independent, I mean, of what you're trying to do. And maybe a good example of that would be the Smolchets kids. They're Croatian kids, and I went to visit them in Croatia because they were...
Maritana. Oh, wow.
Anyway, yeah, so, but I met them, and they told me that they would watch videos about Minecraft if they wanted to solve any problem, but the videos were all in this foreign language. And they said eventually the language just emerged. So like some of the things that you're talking about, the young girl you had in your house who just opened up, and even we've seen Chris just come out in fantastic English, which he was so concerned about it to begin with. But anyway, it's all once the flow gets going, whatever you're trying to do, engineer or use CLIL to learn a subject. If your subject happens to be English, that's even the better, because all these other aspects involve language and communication and people doing what they want to do, and bringing language from within and getting it out because they want to do it. So that's kind of how it works.
I'm happy you mentioned CLIL again, because that's part of the Excalibur name convention, like the acronym. And Andrea and his colleague Letizia Cinganotto, they're kind of a bit of the pioneers for CLIL in schools, even on a European level. Yeah, Letizia is definitely somebody who's well known on a larger, broader European scale for her fantastic research in CLIL. And so I'm happy to pass over to Andrea Benassi, who will tell us a little bit about Minecraft, the large-scale experiences from Italy. And without further ado, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrea Benassi, and I'm a research technologist at Indire, Italy. That is the National Institute for Educational Development. And I'm involved in studying immersive world from, 2006, more or less. And at Indire, we developed a virtual world for education based on open simulator that is called Edmondo. It is just for Italian teachers and students to do learning activities inside it. And then we started using Minecraft with schools in 2016, more or less. And of course, the first question is, why Minecraft at school? Well, of course, there are many answers to this question, but my answer is that Minecraft is a sort of laboratory, a sort of room in the school that is not in the physical space, but into the computer, into the virtual reality in a way. And Minecraft is different to other virtual worlds because it is more simple for younger kids. Younger kids can deal with blocks, not with polygons, not with more difficult, complex geometry. And this is why we struggled in using open simulator in primary schools. Only the teachers build in primary schools with open simulator, but give Minecraft to the younger students and they will start to build just from now. And this is why we started to using Minecraft not only in primary schools but also in secondary schools. Here are some. Here we are in a primary school in Florence. And later I will tell you what they are doing. What is this paper together with the computer? And here we are in a secondary school. They are dealing with complex scripting in Minecraft. So it is like assigning behavior to the shapes in a way. And here we are in a pandemic, in pandemic times, in a primary school. Okay, so I want to talk to you about the Minecraft training pad. It is a teacher training pad about the educational use of Minecraft for Italian teachers. It was run in 2019, 20, and 21 to more than 600 teachers. And inside the Minecraft teacher training path, teachers piloted activities with their students. And the Minecraft project had 4 stages because we were dealing with teachers that were jumping in Minecraft for the first time. So they needed a familiarization stage in which they built their first house in Minecraft, their first building in a way. And then the second stage, that is the design of the learning activities using Minecraft, of course. Each teacher, their own learning activities, and then they piloted this activity in their school with their teachers, with their students, and then a final analysis of what the pilot, what were the pilot findings. And well, I want to talk about the Minecraft methodology, because in my experience, not so many teachers are ready to bring Minecraft in the classroom and start. They need some support. They need maybe for the first time, but they need just for the first time, but they need to be supported. They ask for a methodology. What I could do, what could I do in Minecraft? Please give me some examples. How can I use Minecraft in my subject, with my subject, in my method? And then we elaborated a Minecraft methodology that has 5 constants. And the first one is obvious, maybe, is that students have to build in Minecraft, not the teachers, not the teachers. And before building, students have to design on paper their building. It's similar to what the architects do. They start designing, they start sketching on paper before building. And it is very important, a good balance between the students' freedom and constraints. You can give them too many constraints because they are not free to do what they want. The engagement, the playing side lesson, And you cannot give too much freedom because they could clear for them, and the teacher is the person who gives them the task. And then the mind class activities, the learning activities mind class are based on team working. It is not a single student building and designing, it is a team doing this. And then there are the time limits, something that is very important when you are playing at school, because playing has different times than schooling. And of course, you have to take care in terms of timing of the activities, not only the teachers, but also the students, because this is what happens when you are working, not playing. And so they have to sort of work with Minecraft. It is a serious thing, and serious things have timing. And then there are not only constants, but also moments in the learning activity. You can recognize 5 moments in the learning activity designed by the teachers. And this is inspired by our guidelines that are inspired by design thinking. So the first moment in the learning activity, it is empathize. That is, well, for example, before building an ancient Egypt civilization, you have to empathize with it. That means you have to know it. That you, in a way, you have to start to meet that civilization in your mind, understand that civilization. Only after that, you can start to define, that is a second moment, you can start to define what the work of building implies, what are the knowledge you need, what are the kind of technical skills you need, and so on. Then you can start to ideate. That is designing. On paper, maybe. You have to try to sketch what you're trying to build before starting build. And then you can build or prototype in design thinking. And then there is a final evaluation. Here are 2 examples of activities made in the Mind Class project from teachers and students. The first one is a facility for the city, and the second one is the ideal city. A facility for the city means that students have to design and build a structure that doesn't exist yet in their town, but that could be a solution to a problem or need of the citizens. The building happens only after you have tried to empathize, define, ideate what could be a structure, a facility for your city, for example, a bridge. But you cannot, you have to ask the people. So imagine primary school students serving the population of their town in order to find out what are their needs, their problems that needs a solution. And so it means you have to ask people. Students have to ask people about this. And then they have to identify the main problem and decide which of these problems could be the subject of their work, and then trying to design it, ideate, and only then starting to build in Minecraft. So Minecraft building occurs not from the start, but after the, well, in a way, the main work, the main work of the students. And the second one is the ideal city, in which students design and build an ideal city in Minecraft. And of course, the need, what are the needs, the value, the rights of a community that decides to join and live together in a city, in a town. They ask for themselves, for that, the students, they have to negotiate in order to decide where and to put a building, what is the meaning of that building, and why is that building and not another one, and so on. This is made on paper, and then the building occurs. And of course, the third and the second and the third edition of a Minecraft project occurred during the pandemic. And so one problem arose because students were at home and the teachers were at home sometimes. And in our opinion, Minecraft can become, in this situation, a sort of laboratory online in which the people can meet in a different way from the typical remote learning made of Zoom, like today, or other tools, online tools, because you enter a shared place in which you can start to collaborate with your teammates, with the other students, and with the teachers, even if you are not present at school, but if you are, and if you are connected from home. So this is a 7-year-old student. Okay, so just a word about the language in Minecraft, in the Minecraft project. It was sort of mixed together with our disciplines. Of course, there were English or language teachers, but often these teachers join with other teachers in a multidisciplinary activity in which, for example, building an ideal city became an opportunity to speak and write English mainly in an activity. So you have to describe the city in English, you have to meet with other students from other schools and speak English, and that was our experience. Language learning is mixed up with other disciplines during this learning activity. Thank you for your attention. Of course, I'm here for answering to your questions.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Sorry, that's me talking to the wall. Andrea, wonderful, absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. And you rightly said it was this approach of some of the teachers working together with English teachers. And this is the CLIL solution to some of the well, you want to teach in English, but some of the STEM teachers whose English is not so good are working together with English teachers. And we did the same in the Guinevere project during the pilot tests. We had English teachers join other teachers who were not so familiar with English. And that was an interesting and very productive collaboration and a challenge as well. Yeah. And Andrea, can you tell us just a little bit, perhaps also whether you've run into other challenges other than language?
Well, challenges. The main challenge is there is a problem. I went to a school. A school manager asked me to enter in a primary school and manage learning activities to 9-year-old students last September. And I was together with teachers, a normal teachers. I'm not a teacher. And my perception was confirmed. Most of teachers have a sort of fear to enter a field that is more close to the students than the teacher, than the school. They fear that students, they fear that they could lose control in an environment in which the students are more expert than them, and they are, of course.
Yes,
they are. And this is a new condition for some teachers, because they manage to teach something that they know more than their students, and it has to be in a way. But here is a tool that the students know better than teachers, and this is a problem for the teachers. This is a problem because, of course, they have to know something about Minecraft. Otherwise, they don't understand what is happening in the world of Minecraft. But they don't have to be more experts than the students. And it's a mental issue. It's not, they have to learn to deal with tools that are more familiar with students than the teachers and the schools. If they do that, they can start to doing things that are familiar with, that the students feel like their own things, their own playground. And this is good for learning. This is the main challenge, in my opinion, and in my experience.
And what about the fact that when students get very excited, that they start screaming? I mean, okay, yeah. Italians a little bit more used to this level of noise, perhaps, but what about this one?
Yes, well, a classroom in which the Minecraft activities are happening is not a quiet classroom. It is not a quiet classroom because there is a lot of discussion between students. This is not only Minecraft, this is team working, because when team working occurs, of course, there are people discussing. And it can be a quiet discussion, or maybe just like with the adults, it could be a lively discussion, and some noise can occur, of course. But I think it is normal. I think that an environment, a productive environment, is not necessarily a quiet environment. Of course, there are some rules, and it needs some experience to deal with team working. And this is another challenge because we talk a lot about team working, but a few teachers know how to run team working activities. It is not easy because they are not used to. And this is another challenge. And too much noise means that team working is not working in a way. And so this is a problem not about Minecraft, but about team working, in my opinion.
And what I remember fondly was the fact, and at one time it was also perceived to be disturbing the field test, in as much as we wanted to listen in. We wanted to listen in what the students are talking about and whether they speak English or French as well, which was the language purpose. And because of wanting to listen in, we also like connected two-way communication. Like in our case, it was a mobile phone on the table, or sometimes microphones on the table in the classroom during the field test. And of course, in this process, it was always like a conversation. You know, I wanted to prompt the kids to speak English. So I felt like I'm disturbing the learning process more than, but then the interchange, like the English language that needed to be used in order to communicate, that was the whole purpose of the field test. And yet I came in at a distance into this scenario, which again proved the great chance of these systems to have somebody at a distance with another language join this team, as you were talking about. Have you done any more international team tests with teachers in Italy?
No, it was the last one of, unfortunately, pandemics it was an issue. It is not a motivated issue because we could also have had different schools joining in a same place, but of course there are a lot of issues in the schools, and so some projects are postponed. And I currently have a project in Edmondo from different countries, but not with Minecraft. I remember what you were talking about. If we were from remote, listening to a classroom that was team working with Minecraft. And if you put a microphone in a classroom in which there are 5 teams working, you can hear nothing because there is not just one thing happening in that classroom, but 5 things happening. And so you cannot put a microphone in the classroom. You have to put a microphone on the team in order to understand something. And of course, this is something new in a class, because teachers are used to listen to the whole classroom, to deal with the whole classroom. This is a difference. And of course, teachers have to learn to deal with it. And we too.
And this opportunity to actually open up the classroom in this virtual space internationally, that's something we're going to explore in Excalibur to a larger degree. In Guinevere, we only did like one person like myself interacting with the kids and being supported by an English teacher locally and the STEM teacher in the other room, and it was really interesting, that setup. But then hopefully in Excalibur, we get whole classes working with each other, or groups of students working with each other to collaboratively create.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is a timing challenge, which we've learned through some other earphonic projects. They said, yeah, the English lesson or the physics lesson or the STEM lesson is at a different time in the week in Italy than the different time in the week in Germany. And so for the two classes to get together, they would have to have this class scheduled at the same time. So that
Yes.
might be an issue, might be a big issue. But as I said, this is what Excalibur will be all about.
Well, there were another problem, briefly. Of course, because of the pandemics in Italy, and not only in Italy, a lot of schools now, and not before, have an all-in-one platform. Think about Google Suite, think about 365 Microsoft for the school, and so on. A lot of schools have this. And of course, Minecraft is part of the Microsoft offer. Minecraft Education, the education edition version. Problem is that, you know, Minecraft Education Edition is not built for letting different schools dealing. It is made for a classroom, physically present in a LAN network, and joining together in a world. But if you are using Microsoft Education Edition from remote, some problems arises. And this is another barrier for using that kind of Minecraft, the Minecraft Education Edition, that some schools already have now because of the pandemics, because of the suite, of the Microsoft suite, but we have a lot of problems when the students are not in the same physical space. And of course, my opinion is that Microsoft should address this.
Okay, interesting. And it was also, I remember back in the Guinevere project, we couldn't get Minecraft Edu licenses because we weren't a school, but we were an EU-funded project. We were educational, we were a group of universities, but we could not get Minecraft Edu licenses as per degree because Microsoft only issues those to schools, registered local schools. Yeah, that is a big issue. Interesting. Perhaps Mindtest would help here. Yeah, that could be the solution even to the project. Thank you so much. Is there Robert, do you have a question? Or Vance, Bobby, Chris is gone, it seems. Yeah. Do you have a question to Andrea?
It's very interesting. You're fortunate in working with young children. I think children are amenable to, you know, creating in this way using games. Have you gone? Have you used this with older children or people in secondary school, or is it all?
Or adults?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am used in secondary schools, but it is more focused with technical skills, just like scripting, no, in Minecraft. There was a challenge in Italy last year, and in my experience, what the primary school teachers, students did was more in a way interesting than what the secondary school students did. Why? Because secondary school teachers are more focused on, and students are more focused on aesthetics, the accuracy of the building, you know? So they build incredible locations, but of course this is very focused on particular skills, and of course there are many more powerful tools to be realistic than Minecraft, of course. A good experience was with a computer science class, 17 years old, that use algorithms to create a city by the algorithm, not building it, right? They have to build an algorithm that recreates.
No way.
This is a very, in a way, deep way of dealing with Minecraft and the scripting part, the coding part of Minecraft.
Incredible.
Yeah, we have someone in EVO Minecraft MOOC from the beginning. His name is Mircea Petrascu, and he's from Romania, and he teaches coding, and he taught us a lot about scripts when we first started out, and he could create cities, redundantly, but basically, if you have an algorithm, you can build building, or you can. Oh, one thing you would do, you build stairways extending forever, or go tunnel into mountains, and you could basically, he set up railroads and underground railroads and things like that using these. So he's a very interesting character. And of course, to me, that's coding is another language learning activity. I wrote an article recently on just that. Why should an English teacher teach coding? Because it's a concise way of expression, just like you try to teach people writing or whatever. You have to be very exact in what you say. And yeah, I find I think last year before, I was in Thailand doing a workshop on teaching people coding skills using language. We didn't use computers or anything like that. Basically, I just got them. I gave them some little tasks that they had to algorithms, like you said. And
if you compare coding with the language, I kept saying that when there's language ability, sometimes you can understand a lot quicker than you can speak it. And with scripting languages, it's always that one can read the scripting language almost often very well, because there's a lot of explanations within the script itself of what the script does and how it repeats itself and the different parameters you can detect and so forth. So when you have a script, to understand what it does and how to change it a little bit is not so difficult than rewriting the script from scratch. That's almost like an impossible task. So speaking it is versus reading it, yeah. And I kept saying that I'm fluent in, I don't know how many languages that I speak, but also I am fluent in reading about 15 programming languages, because HTML and CSS and are part of this. I kept listing them as well, Java including, so but I can read it, understand it, but not write it. Yeah, cool. And what about Minecraft as the game itself? Yeah, the game of playing games. You said I mean, sorry, that was Chris actually said that sometimes Minecraft is used to recreate games. Have you come across that one?
Well, yeah, but it is mainly it is a negative experience.
Oh,
last year and the year before, we started a national challenge for schools. They had to create games, not just by Minecraft, but by whatever they wanted. And when they use Minecraft, the building things comes up, and they forgot to design the game. It is very difficult to play something that the students built and designed. It is most of the time it is a sort in the best examples a sort of storytelling.
Oh, you just froze a little bit. Sort of storytelling is what we got. And then you were frozen, Andrea. For me.
For me too.
Okay.
We seem to be
But
okay.
this is interesting because we built games.
Here he is.
Welcome back, Andrea. Keep going.
Yeah. In my opinion, game design is a skill that has to be learned by teachers before the students. And in this challenge, the best works were made by design, game design tools that were more simple than Minecraft, not so engaging, but more focused on game dynamics.
You're saying this, Andrea, because this is what something I mentioned in Guinevere was one of our findings when we spent almost 3, 4, 5 months on building games. You know, Guinevere was all about games. So there was this pyramid, which was an escape room game. Then there was the bridle path where you had to ride through and collect words. Then there was this game with sounds, etc., etc. And all of these games that we built, the kids more or less ignored. I mean, the months of work that we put in, the infrastructure, a restaurant where you could role play, ordering food and things like that, completely and utterly ignored it and started to build. So yes, you're right there. Games and building in Minecraft does not seem to go all that well, not such as, you know, the creation process is more of it. And I like this approach about them having to design on paper with square, you know, the squares and everything before building. I like that, really.
Yeah, there are more simple tools that have some sort of affordance for the students, for the children, to think about user experience, player experience, no? In Minecraft, lot of students, I evaluated more than 1,000 games made, 800 were made by Minecraft. But most of them, the player, were the people who created it, not other people. I understand what I mean. The user experience is something that the students and the teachers, of course, don't take into account. And this is game design, of course.
Fantastic. Vance, if you still have some questions, perhaps.
Well, you know, Jane, who has a son named Matty, is really into designing games. And he's run a few of them by us. He generally creates a maze of some kind. I think one time he put a bunch of sheep, dyed wool sheep, in an area, and we had to go, and our task was to get certain colored wools. And so we had to attack these sheep and shear them and get the wools. And I can't remember, but it kept going from different layers. He had many different layers, you know, in Minecraft. That was kind of a complicated game, but he and Maddie's and Jane has also set up tasks for students where they have to, let's say, I think last year they had the year of the pig. They had to create a pig in Minecraft, and she had different teams. And one of the teams was Maddie and his friends, and she was studying their vocabulary development. So she did an interesting paper on that. And just the other day, a few days ago, Maddie designed another game, and we had to go in and navigate we had to get on a pig, ride a pig through a maze, and then at the other end, get on a strider, which is another creature. And I think shoot arrows at dragons' heads. That he called that the end. He called it the overworld, the nether, and the end. It wasn't really that in Minecraft, but still, I mean, he really likes to make games, and yeah, that's something that can be tapped. So, does that catch on with kids? I mean, did they do a lot of that?
No, in my experience, no. Well, I was thinking about that. Well, the main pleasure in playing Minecraft is creativity, is infinite possibilities, no, for the player. And so it is difficult to create a structured playing experience inside Minecraft. You understand what I mean?
Absolutely. I don't like playing these games. They're too constraining. I like playing Minecraft. I like going out and developing. And this guy Mircea, that he used to build these little places where you had to go, and he wanted to relate it to language. So you had a question of something, and then you had to turn this lever and this lever to answer the question. And if you didn't get it right, you had to stay in this place. It's so frustrated, you know, because it's not just if you know the answer, it's also you have to manipulate the levers, and I just get frustrated with that kind of thing.
Yeah, there are other games that are more structured, of course. You expect it to be so, and it is fun in that way, of course. The platform games, for example, in which you have to follow a straight line, and it is more simple to design a game, a platform game, not that a game inside Minecraft. Because when you enter Minecraft, you expect a lot of freedom, not some sort of pre-ordered experience from other people. This is the notch.
Yes, absolutely. And somebody made the point earlier today that Minecraft is not a game. It's a toy. It's a tool. And
we use it as a lab. We use it as a lab in which you are not, in our Minecraft way, you are not playing, you are working, no, in a way. So it is, of course, you have fun doing that, but is it has not the typical game dynamics. It has the laboratory dynamics.
Yeah.
A sandbox game?
Well, it's a sandbox, but not a game. A game has a goal. It has an end. You're supposed to, Minecraft has an end. If you get the dragon's head, or you go to the Ender world, and I can't remember. There's a big dragon there. I think but anyway, you go to a city and you try to you actually can defeat the dragon and get the dragon's head, but still it's not really an end because there's still more to play. So it's just one goal you can accomplish, but it's an endless game. Doesn't really end. It has no real point except in playing itself. And that's why it's a toy. It's kind of like a ball. You can play a game with a ball, but you still have the ball and you can do all kinds of other things with it. So
thank you so much, Andrea, for your wonderful insight.
You're welcome.
With
very interesting
teachers, that is really a large-scale experiment, a large-scale lab that you've put up there. and fascinating insights into also the teachers' attitudes, the teachers' issues. And I'm so happy that you're bringing this to the table of Excalibur. And the Excalibur sword might be the Minecraft sword. I hope that we get a logo that looks like the Minecraft sword called Excalibur. The logo is yet to be designed, so I've put up a note. Yeah, thank you so much. And if there's no further question, I'd like to call this to a close. Very, very encouraged, inspired with this fantastic information we've been able to receive. And thank you all for joining. And
yes, really remarkable what you've put together for us here. Your explanation of Excalibur from Camelot to Avalon to Lancelot and whatever else is there. Then the mind test, that was quite interesting, and Andrea's experiences as well. I mean, I actually mentioned to James York, whom we were talking to earlier, he had a discussion about, well, he was looking for practical, what are teachers doing with Minecraft? He's kind of kept, every time we would say some, give an example, he'd say, well, but what are teachers really doing? And Andrea I told him, well, if he'd stick around for your sessions, we'd probably find out a lot more about it. And I think Andrea has given many good examples there. Obviously, he's shown us that teachers can do things, especially in a practical way. So his point seems to be that Minecraft is really difficult to implement, and Andrea has pointed out some of the challenges, as you said, especially with Minecraft Edu, which I agree with. Anyway, of course, we need to share these experiences in forums like this so that we can learn from each other and see what each other is doing, and answer questions like James. What are teachers doing with these things? So anyway, thank you very much.
Everyone who's joined from Malaysia to Italy.
Yes,
Germany.
To the north of Finland, wherever it is we extend to. So yeah, thank you very much.
The date today is the 8th of February 2022. I'm concluding this recording, and the live stream will be on Van Stevens' channel. Check out Van Stevens, lots of videos there. Thank you so much.
And I'm looking yours away. So